declared, standing in my home workspace with barely concealed disdain. This isn't professional, Amanda. I glanced around my carefully designed home office, state-of-the-art equipment hidden behind minimalist decor. If she only knew this unprofessional setup was where I ran my tech empire. The neighbors must think you're unemployed, she continued, frowning at my dual monitors. Sarah's daughter just got promoted to middle management. She has a corner office downtown. My phone buzzed. Stock split approved. Current market cap, $6.2 billion. Board meeting in 20 minutes. I'm comfortable here, Mom, I said, checking my trading dashboard. Another $1 billion in revenue this quarter. My sister Melissa swept in, designer heels clicking. Still playing computer games? Some of us have real careers to manage. If only they knew those computer games were actually real-time data from my company's global operations. 5 continents, 10,000 employees, all managed from this very room. When I was your age, my mother sighed, I was climbing the corporate ladder. Not, whatever this is. Another notification. CNBC interview confirmed. They're calling you the Invisible Sioux, the youngest self-made billionaire no one's ever seen. At least come interview at my firm, Melissa offered condescendingly. We need someone to manage our social media. I suppressed a smile, remembering how my company had just acquired a controlling stake in her firm's parent company. They just didn't know it yet. The Williams family next door, my mother pressed. Their daughter just got an office with a view of the park. I have a view, I gestured to my window overlooking the city. A real view, she insisted. In a real building. With real colleagues. My laptop chimed. Emergency board meeting starting. Major acquisition announcement. Amanda, Melissa smirked. Success requires sacrifice. You can't build a career from your bedroom. Just then the TV in the corner, always tuned to financial news, caught everyone's attention. The anchor's voice filled the room. Breaking news about the mysterious tech prodigy behind Nova Industries. Speaking of success, my mother gestured at the TV. That's what real achievement looks like. Nova Industries, revolutionizing the tech industry from their massive headquarters downtown. If she only knew that massive headquarters was mainly for show. I ran everything from right here. The CEO must have an incredible office, Melissa mused. Probably takes up the whole top floor. My phone lit up. Acquisition papers ready for signing. Target company, Global Tech Solutions, Melissa's employer's parent company. You know, my mother continued, picking up a framed certificate from my desk. Your coding certificate from community college could at least get you an entry-level position somewhere respectable. I didn't mention that I'd bought that community college last month. The paperwork would be public soon enough. Amanda needs structure, Melissa declared. Real deadlines, real meetings, real dash. My laptop chimed again, more urgently this time. The board was waiting. Sorry, I said, reaching for my noise-canceling headphones. I have a meeting. A meeting? My mother's eyebrows shot up. With who? Your cat. Probably her online gaming friends, Melissa snickered. The TV anchor's voice grew louder. Sources say Nova Industries has been operating in complete anonymity, building a $6 billion empire from an undisclosed location. Now that's someone who understands success, my mother said, pointing at the TV. Not hiding behind a computer screen at home. My phone buzzed again. Press embargo lifts in 10 minutes. All major networks standing by. Did you hear about Sarah's daughter's new office perks? My mother pressed. Company car, expense account dash. How nice, I murmured, watching my company's stock tick upward on my second monitor. This is what happens when you take your career seriously, Melissa added. When you show up to a real office, make real connections dash. The TV anchor cut her off. Breaking update on Nova Industries. We're about to receive unprecedented access to the CEO's actual workspace. My laptop chimed once more. The board was getting impatient. Just a minute, I said, reaching for my laptop. I really need to take this meeting. What meeting could possibly be so important? My mother demanded. Board meeting, I said quietly, moving my mouse to unmute. We're announcing an acquisition. Board meeting. Melissa laughed. What board? Your online book club. The TV anchor's voice suddenly grew excited. This just in, we're getting our first live look at Nova Industries Command Center, the private workspace of the mysterious billionaire CEO. The camera panned to show a familiar room. My room. This room. My mother's face froze. Melissa's coffee cup slipped from her hand. I clicked unmute. "Good morning, board members," I said clearly, watching my family's reflection in the monitor as their world turned upside down. "Shall we begin?" The sound of Melissa's coffee cup shattering on my hardwood floor perfectly punctuated the silence. On my main screen, 12 board members waited patiently. On the TV, a live feed of my home office was being broadcast to millions. "As chair of Nova Industries," I continued calmly, "I call this emergency board meeting to order." "Chair of," my mother whispered, sinking into the nearest chair. The TV anchor's voice filled the room. In a stunning revelation, Nova Industries' elusive CEO has been identified as Amanda Chen, age 29, who built her $6 billion tech empire entirely from her home office. That's impossible," Melissa stammered, her designer heels suddenly unsteady. You play on your computer all day." "Actually," I smiled, pulling up a presentation on my screen, "I run one of the largest tech companies in the world. All from this unprofessional home office." My mother's eyes darted between the TV and my monitors, where global market data scrolled in real time. But Sarah's daughter's corner office is in a building I own," I completed. "Nova Industries acquired that property last quarter, along with most of the downtown commercial district." Melissa's phone buzzed, probably a company-wide email about the acquisition. "Global Tech Solutions is being, you bought your parent company?" "Yes," I nodded. "Don't worry about your job. Though that social media position you offered me won't be necessary." The TV continued. "Sources say Chen has revolutionized remote work culture, running a global empire of 10,000 employees without ever setting foot in a traditional office." 10,000, my mother breathed. 10,322 as of this morning, I corrected, checking my dashboard. "All working remotely just like me." On my screen, the board members waited patiently as the Forbes livestream team set up their equipment in my office. Today's announcement would make headlines worldwide. "But we thought." Melissa gestured helplessly at my setup. "That success only happens in corner offices?" I smiled. "Welcome to the future of work." My mother picked up the community college certificate she'd been criticizing moments earlier. "This was all just a cover?" "That college is actually part of Nova's educational division now," I said. "We're revolutionizing remote learning too." The TV switched to a graphic showing Nova Industries' market capitalization. My mother's grip on the certificate tightened as she saw the numbers. "Those meetings you always had," Melissa whispered. "We're with global tech leaders, venture capitalists, and yes, our board of directors," I confirmed. "All from right here in my unprofessional home office." My phone lit up with another notification. Wall Street Journal exclusive ready. "The bedroom billionaire. How Amanda Chen built an empire without a corner office." 1 month after my revelation, my mother stood in my home office again. This time she wasn't criticizing, she was watching CNBC feature me in their Innovators Changing the World series. And joining us live from her now famous home office, the anchor announced, Nova Industries CEO Amanda Chen, whose remote-first approach has sparked a global revolution in workplace culture. Melissa sat quietly in the corner, still adjusting to her new reality as an employee of my company. Her corner office sat empty downtown. She'd opted for remote work after realizing her baby sister was now her boss's boss's boss. "Your daughter's approach is fascinating," my mother's friend Susan gushed on the phone. "My Sarah would love to interview for Nova Industries." "Sarah's daughter with the corner office?" I mouthed to Mom, who had the grace to blush. "Actually," my mother said into the phone, "Amanda's not taking interviews right now. She's preparing for her White House Technology Advisory Panel." The change in her tone over the past month had been remarkable. Gone were the criticisms about real jobs and real offices. Now she proudly told anyone who would listen about her daughter, the tech visionary. "Miss Chen," my assistant's voice came through the intercom, "Microsoft CEO is on line 1 about the joint venture." Melissa nearly dropped her tablet. She'd spent years bragging about her corporate connections. Now she watched as I casually scheduled meetings with the tech world's elite. Have you seen the latest Forbes? My mother asked, holding up the magazine with my cover story. The future has no office. How Amanda Chen's home-based empire changed work forever. Speaking of changes, I pulled up a presentation on my main screen. Nova's remote work platform just hit 100 million users globally. My mother, who once dismissed my work-from-home setup as unprofessional, now gave tours of my office to her friends, pointing out the technology that ran a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. The Williams next door, she mentioned, asked if you'd consider speaking at their daughter's school career day. The same Williams who thought I was unemployed last month? I smiled. Melissa, scrolling through company announcements on her phone, looked up. The Tokyo expansion is trending worldwide. All managed from right here, I confirmed, gesturing to my setup. No corner office required. My mother touched the community college certificate still displayed proudly on my wall. I was so wrong, Amanda. About everything. Not everything, I said, pulling up the college's new remote learning platform. You taught me persistence. I just applied it differently. The TV shifted to breaking news. Nova Industries announces revolutionary AI-powered remote work tools. Stock surges 40%. Remember when you said I was just playing games on my computer? I asked Melissa. She nodded, watching the stock ticker climb. Now you're playing chess with the entire tech industry. My phone buzzed with another notification. Time Magazine Person of the Year photoshoot confirmed. Theme: the future of work. The funny thing is, I said, preparing for my next virtual board meeting, I never needed a corner office with a view. I gestured to my window overlooking the city. I had the best view all along. Now I can see the whole world changing right from this room. My mother squeezed my shoulder as another news alert flashed. Nova Industries becomes youngest company to reach $10 billion valuation, all without a traditional office. Sometimes the biggest empires aren't built in skyscrapers. Sometimes they're built in the